Hello and welcome everyone. We are here in part 7 of my Total War long play. In part 6 we completed the campaign and got our long victory. And we probably could have done a whole map conquest, but I thought it would be more interesting to try and show you a few other bits of it. So my intention with this series is to try and cover all of the factions and maybe eventually cover all the different legendary lords. So I decided to take us... a bit. So our previous campaign took place in this sort of middle bit over here. All of this land was basically our entire last campaign. So for this one, I brought us all the way down south over to here as Skarbrand, the angriest boy in all the lands. We are one of the new factions of Total Warhammer 3. And without further ado, let's get underway. They're a very, very different faction to the vampire counts, as hopefully will become apparent very quickly. Right, let's remind ourselves how some of the stuff works. So we've still got finances like everyone else. Skull Throne, cooldown per activation turn, construction time, campaign movement range, income post battle. Okay, so right, that's pretty useful. We've got a rage meter which we want to keep up. Understood. Was that all provinces? Oh wow, that is all provinces and all armies. Okay, so I want to keep Skarbrand angry. Got it. Skills can be spent on things, and unholy manifestations summons an army to attack. Need to get more corruption? Amount of corn corruption across the world. Oh, okay, right, so spread corn corruption to get benefits there. That's simple enough. That's a settlement that we control. Do we have economic buildings? Yeah, we kind of do. Control bonuses. Income from post-battle loot. That's what we really want, isn't it? That's a depressing amount of income there. Earns 30% buff to local region. I think we need to work real hard for that to actually be viable. Okay. So which of these units are we... Oh, at least we can recruit Chaos Warriors directly. That's pretty good for us. The Bloodless is only the thing I really want to bother with in the early game, because cavalry might be nice. That's the next tier up. So can I recruit a hero based upon that building? No, I can't. That's fair enough. Oh, might as well invest. Right. You know what? Let's get this underway properly. Always quick save, because you never know when you're going to screw up in some unique and interesting way. Or like I did on my previous video, where I forgot that I'd got the show me where these units are button is and confused it with my pause button for my recording. But yeah, so where the vampire counts are very much a cheap army and are all about quickly raising armies of zombies and attritional warfare, Khorne is kind of about a battering ram approach. You will have a couple of armies that will just absolutely tear through anything you put in front of them. They are incredibly strong. Skarbrand, it can be, with a couple of upgrades, a one-man army. They don't use magic particularly, as Khorne is not a fan of magic. But they have access to just some of the gnarliest melee infantry in the game. Once again, they're a faction that's not a huge fan of ranged warfare, as they deem it less fun than cutting things apart. Although they do get access to, I'm pretty confident I get access to hell cannons, and I definitely get access to skull cannons, so I've got a bit of long-range artillery fire. But the majority of it is just really good, like, melee infantry. And eventually I get access to bloodthirsters, which are... So Skarbrand is a bloodthirster, but he cannot fly, which is deep sadness for him. So we will see. Oh, excuse me one moment. I'm yawning my heart out. I was up too late with friends yesterday. Rounds of Gartic phone, destroying friendships, you know, standard. Right, what we got here? Do this nice and easy. Like I say, my only goal here really is just to make sure I don't take too many casualties. And towards that end, does the enemy have much in the way of archers? A unit of archers. Goes up front then. Right. Send the boys up front. Send the other boy up front. Send you round the side. Send Scarbrand straight into the middle of them. And these boys will get here ready to charge. What's your ability got here? For the record, like I say, I have played most of these factions previously, but it's been a very long time for some of them, so with the way that these games get patched, I'm quite confident that this has been reworked somewhat since I last had a chance to mess around with it, so we will see. I wait excitedly to see what it's like now. I think the last time I played Scarbrand was basically on release, so come on, my boy, get stuck in. Ah, that's what we like to see. What does this do? So that applies Rampage. Okay. So enemy units might be unable to run away, which is actually a really useful effect when, you know, you're trying to pin them down. Send the dogs around the side. Get them boys over there. Let's go around in. Get stuck in there. The other thing is, if he takes the early hits, it's kind of in our favor because, well, it's unlikely they're going to kill him as long as I put some actual troops in there. At this point, he probably can't solo the entire thing. But it does mean that he's going to absorb basically most of the damage for me, which is very beneficial in this game. It means we'll have many less casualties to deal with. Oh boy, and he's doing what he should be. What we like to see. Alright, let's go pin those guys down so that they can't get any more charges off. These hounds cannot take this fight though, that's the only problem, which is why I'm being cautious. Probably lose some hounds, but that's acceptable. Right, this boy needs to get out because we don't want to lose him. Come on. Sure. I believe you're also demonic, which means your instability could be an issue. Oh, that's fine. Right, excellent. They're running. Hounds get over there. Chaos Warriors get over there. You get over there to just get nice and happy. This all looks good to me. Managing to minimize casualties where it matters. There we go. So you also get access to these manifestations here, which, as you kill people in battle, they'll access more and more buffs. Initially, we've only accessed the most basic one, which is just an AoE melee attack buff, which is really, really helpful. Like, objectively, that is just a straight-up incredibly good buff. So the way it works is melee attack is placed against a unit's melee defense. So on the left-hand side of the screen now, you can see that each unit has a melee attack stat, which I can hover over, and a melee defense stat. And effectively, the difference between those two determines how likely an attack is to hit. And that's calculated for every model in the unit. So giving units a big buff to their melee attack is great, as it directly increases the amount of hitting they're going to be doing, which really can massively push up their damage output, which is great for just pushing through a line or making a hole, or just trying to deal with enemies that are particularly well defended, because that's just the thing that happens. But yeah, so that was I wasn't expecting. Let's say there was no world where we were going to lose that fight. It was more just taking as few casualties as possible. So you see, we lost 15. Like, we lost quite a bit of health, but health on Lords is a lot easier to regenerate, and is it's also worth a lot less. No, health on Lords is, generally speaking, there's more ways to replenish it, and it's also harder for them to lose it. So like, because if a unit goes in and it's on like 20% health, it's not going to be able to do anything. But your Lord's effectiveness basically doesn't drop off until they die in most cases. So it's quite okay for them to lose health because it works in our favor. Now, the enemy I'm kind of hoping that, well, can't guarantee. I'm hoping that their army could have run away, because if their army's run away, then fight them again, which would work really well for us. Because the whole thing about Scarbrand and Khorne in general is they just want to keep fighting. Smash, 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 kill, 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 maim, maim, burn. And it's actually beneficial then for this army to hopefully survive, because then I can punch them again. I don't think I'd get to do it twice. Again, I mean. At which point, let's say, so then we aim for the settlement, and then we start, getting this ball rolling. It's a much more, let's say, the Khorne campaign. So the Vampire Gallants campaign's got a little bit of a tricky start because your economy isn't super solid. It slows you down a little bit, and it means you've got to be careful about the fights you take, but eventually you can just drown the entire world in a tide of zombies, so nothing to worry about there. The Khorne campaign, it's all about momentum. As long as you can get going and get going in the right direction, pick the right units, it's a lot easier than if you had just, say, if you lose your main army, if you get, if you make a bad decision, get taken out of the wrong place, then you will have a problem. So it's about controlled aggression until eventually you don't need to anymore and you can just go mad, which is truly the way to do it. But the fact, so it's one of the issues that, so the Warriors of Chaos, so there's two different styles of chaos in the game now. So you've got the Demons of Chaos and you've got the Warriors of Chaos. The Warriors of Chaos operate on so they recruit basic units and then can gradually increase their level up to make them your best units, whereas I can now just recruit those units directly for a cost, which is really, really much more convenient for rapidly expanding. The much better way. It's a much better in terms of being able to quickly put an army together and a high tier one. And it also means that obviously when I start like creating new armies, they'll actually have good units in them as opposed to just trash. However, the Warriors of Chaos are really, really good at taking an army. So they can take sort of like their basic starting army, put a couple of units in it, make it work in early game. And then as long as they keep winning fights with that army, eventually that army will just have all of the highest tier units in their faction available to it, which is really good for like pushing through. It just means that the switch to sort of like end game armies is sometimes a little bit painful because effectively you just have to buy several armies of trash and either wait for them to gain experience passively or just push through fights against other factions who've got late game armies. But the problem is other factions' late game armies are generally quite good. So putting waves of trash into them is experiences diminishing returns in what it can achieve. Whereas obviously in this one, I actually have recruitment buildings and can just recruit the units directly. So as long as I can keep that momentum up, I can just eventually build another good army and just keep going. Right, what were options here? More skulls, which we haven't found a use for them just yet, so that's fine. Army replenishment or money? We're not going to be... We should not be struggling for money in this campaign, so let's go for replenishment. Okay, no, they didn't run away. Now, the other question is, can we get there this turn? Nope. Okay, fair enough. Right. If I pick that, though, will that give me enough? Let's find out. Ah, it's just short. You can tell when you look at the green arrow, if you can see like a tiny bit of red just before you get there. Basically saying I could nearly get there. Just not quite. It's fine. Deep sadness. Oh well, it's fine. My movement range will very quickly become everywhere. Aha, technology, right. Ah, so this is where our skulls go. Right, I see. Okay. Bonus move range is always good. Bonus loot is okay, these are all good so far. Probably not going to bother with that one. Raiding is... yeah. Free skulls, everyone hates me. Not do that. Well, I won't do that one just yet in the early game. Upkeep reduction, we're not currently struggling. Okay, so I think it's between that and between that. But I think in the early game, movement's going to be more useful to us. How many of these do we have? Whoa, okay, quite a lot of these. Let me guess, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah, so like I say, just running through my logic for all of them. So campaign movement range is just always helpful, and it affects all my characters. So being able to get into more fights, that's going to be great for us. Getting more money from battle, yeah, that's great. It'll stack up, and it's going to be really helpful for us. But at this point, we're not going to really be struggling for money. It's unlikely at this point in the game. Later on, maybe yes, but not at this point. Raiding is a way of making money passively, but it's also not fighting people, and I want to be fighting people, so I don't really want to be raiding much. So it's a big buff, 50%, but it's not that useful for me. Spreading rage, yeah, okay, Corn corruption is great, and the other factor that my faction has is that every time there's a ruined settlement in a region with corn, my faction can just passively colonize it, so I don't need to waste time sending armies to colonize places once I've conquered them. So I can effectively just go through regions, burn everything down, corn corruption will spread, and eventually I'll just colonize those settlements. That's kind of core to my faction's mechanic, but for now, that's more useful. So serial killing is to get me momentum, spread rage will be the next one, because that's what will be affecting my ability to expand. Upkeep reduction, again, so I've mentioned that I'm not really worried too much about money in the early game. Excuse me a second. Oh, my voice is very croaky today. Anyway. Blood Feaster's banner, so strength from flesh, healing as long as they're fighting. Yeah, great. But I also don't have many units at this point that I'd be really, really concerned about that being a massive buff for them. It might be useful to put on like a hero or something, but not that bad. Spell resistance, early game, I'm not really too much worried about spell threats. That's more of a mid-game problem, so that's very much something which would be nice. Plus, it only affects a couple of units, so my blood letters. So, not a thing I'm going to have to rush. That's more tempting, as that's just free armor for some of my weaker units. But equally, I'm not planning on using them very much, so not high priority. And finally, Skulls for Skull Throne will be really, really helpful. And that's probably going to be, so it's probably going to be Serial Killing, Spread Rage, and Skulls for Skull Throne are the essential ones, because I need to get 3. If you look at that big 0 out of 3 in the middle before I can go on to the next section. So, passive income of my Skulls resource. Yes, great, very helpful, much want. Minus 10 diplomatic relations with all factions isn't a massive amount, but it's enough that people who weren't previously going to declare war on me might suddenly declare war on me, which would be inconvenient for me. As I mentioned, I want to control the speed of my aggression. So for now, we'll let them be. Can I recruit? If I go into garrison, can I recruit in one turn? I can. So basically all I'm going to be doing is just bloodletters of corn. I could get more of other units, but honestly, I'm planning on building this army for quality. I'm going to be fighting a lot, and I won't necessarily always get lots of replenishment time. Like, I'm always going to passively get replenishment. That's Scarband's trick. But I'm not always going to get lots of replenishment, so I want the units which I'm earning to be worth more to me. Hence, investing in better units, so that if I replenish 10 Chaos Marauders, yay. If I replenish 10 Bloodletters, much better. They'll have a much bigger impact, so you think you're going to be fighting a lot, suffering a lot of attrition, and just constantly not being quite at full strength. It's probably not a bad decision to have aiming for a slightly higher tier army. You won't have as many units, but as long as they can survive, you should be able to do it. So now, yeah, we're not going to lose anything. We take that. Bit of attrition, that's fine. And now, let's see our options. Summons a Blood Host, so that's just summons an army, or Skulls for the Skull Throne. I don't think I have a need for them yet, so let's see. Let's summon a Blood Host. So the other thing I can do is, as I destroy settlements, I can summon Blood Hosts, which effectively summons mini armies, which can then go around and continue the good work. That's all good there. I'm losing a bit of money now, but again, that's not a huge issue for us. Fine. Move up there. Probably going to take us a bit longer than I'd like to get to where you need to be, but that's okay. And there we go, replenishment rate. Once we've got that, probably not going to worry too well. We'll see. I'm not sure. So this tree here will turn him into an absolute combat monster, which is very, very tempting. Down here, though, are all the things that will make this army just absolutely go off. So that'll give me casualty replenishment, so I can have more troops. Don't really need to worry about that just yet. Income from raiding, not going to worry too much about that. At higher levels, it gives some money from sacking settlements as well, but there's a lot of points put into that. Corruption, as I mentioned, corruption is great for us. We want that. Unholy resilience makes this Lord heal much faster. Absolutely essential to us. In here, we've got other ones, which is so just a free upkeep reduction. Yes, 100%. Call to bloodletting, getting more skulls, amazing, yes. Reducing attrition casualties, so all of these are really, really helpful upgrades, especially this one, Claim of Skulls, because again, more campaign movement range. But the further I can move, the more fights I can get into, the more fights I can get into, the more skulls, the more everything good I get, so... But for now, I think casualty replenishment and then just investing in his ability to punch people better. I think I will be spent using next turn to summon an army to fight. Just to make sure that I don't lose any progress on my rageometer. Also curious to see where that army I just spawned goes. Like I don't believe I can control the 4 armies. Although if I can, that'd be really helpful. Let's find out. Oh, I can. Excellent. Right. Let's develop a new enemy. You know what? You're a relatively high tier army. Go that away. How long? On battle victory, progress will declare unless a battle fought this turn. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Hit the floating village and all will be good in the world. Right. Restart casualty replenishment. And in your case... I love the Cornet unit tree. Leadership's not super important. Physical resistance is kind of decent early game. All the units, all of them have ways of working around it, but that's just the way it is. Oh, and now, am I going to take super heavy casualty? No, it's not a big garrison. I do significantly help. No, it won't. Fair enough. Okay. Just leave you there then for now. That's all good. Use this army here to punch this settlement. See. Whether it's successful or not, we'll see. But here's hoping. I mean, it's not an incredibly strong force, but as long as the enemy isn't like high tier, I think I can probably tear through them because bloodletters will do. So if those are low level orcs, so I'm assuming it'll basically be orc boys or goblins, bloodletters will have absolutely no problem dealing with them. Even more so with these guys being supported by a war shrine, which is this unit here. I can't remember the exact aura it's got, but yeah, just really, really useful abilities around it. So I think this army, if it has to fight, it'll be absolutely fine. Let's make some new enemies. Let's see what you got. Yeah, orc boys and goblins. Cool. Well, if we have to fight them on an open field is in our favour, so we'll do that for now. And while it's doing that, fine. Don't lose any units. Perfectamundo. I mean, another 1,000 skulls always is nice. But I think at this point, actually, just gaining a settlement is probably useful for us. Now, that one. We want that one. So how is this doing? Yeah, so as you can see, so this bar here, like there's several segments on it. So if we're in like the lowest level, it's terrible for us. But if we push all the way to the top, we get massive bonuses to everything effectively that we could want as a faction. So the trick is basically just always keep fighting. I believe this army also can do the same sort of thing. It just takes them a little while to get there. And a bit more casual punishment. Good, good. I can just recruit Chaos Warriors. Oh boy, our recruitment costs are expensive. Oh, well, that's fair. That's understandable. In that case, then we'll hold off for now. For now, I got a couple of decent units. Okay. So yes, a nice clean start. Let's see how this goes. Well, it does mean that with recruitment costs that high, it's a lot. Normally, I wouldn't worry too much about recruitment costs because if a unit costs sort of like 800 to recruit, 5% off that isn't great. But if my units are costing nearly 2,000 to recruit, 5% off that is a lot more. So, might even consider investing in my recruitment reductions. So those you may have just well, eagle-eyed people may have just noticed that there was an icon with red that swung past us in the turn order. That was letting me know that they chose not to sally out and fight me. Which means that now I can just siege that place down and happy days to me. So fingers crossed in one more turn they'll be able to take it. So I think my first point of order out there. Get you in that stance and we'll start moving you over here. Much work to be done. What units do we want? Purposes of my income. Regular Chaos Warriors, please. Doing its thing, that's doing its thing. That's not going to colonize as long as... So, this here is the Beastmen, and they've got a Blood Ground. Now, what a Blood Ground does is... Effectively, it's like a settlement building for them. Now, they don't actually have a settlement building because they're a Horde faction. But what they do is they deploy these blood grounds, and then everything in the range of that blood ground, you can no longer it gets this marker here, which is blood ground, which says you can no longer colonize it under any circumstances, which isn't great for us. So we're going to work to try and take these folks out as soon as possible. So let's see how they react. If it comes to a stand-up fight, we can probably take them, to be perfectly honest. I think we've got the tools required to resolve this one. Ideally, though, if they could move away from that settlement, though, it would reduce my casualties I'm going to have to take here. I saw corruption in the region, although fighting in the swamp is always awful, because there's always going to be attrition in the swamp. Aha, our first research is complete. Good, good. Fortunately. There we go, that's what I wanted to see. Yes, good, good. Let's go through. Oh, see. Right. Who are we going to start our next fight with then? I think sending you over here and attacking these folks is the right. So this army is guaranteed to die. It's how they work. So then the next one we want is getting rage. So free corn corruption. It's gonna take a while for that settlement to develop. Oh, I can choose between the two. Interesting. What's the difference? Oh, demonic basically versus. That gives corn. Oh, okay, so that spreads corruption, but that's okay. That's pretty good. Still in that stance. Oh, these are so expensive. Nope. Yep, we don't. So we don't want to go. We could spend our bank at the moment to get a couple of units, but we don't want to go down to 0 with negative income. Once you're down at 0 and you then have negative income, your armies will start suffering attrition until you earn some money. So I mentioned earlier about the whole momentum thing. That's a good way to lose momentum really quickly, as you very rapidly need to, well, find money. They're going to want a peace treaty with me, and I'm going to say no. And they start with a lot of territory. Although they're probably guaranteed to die very quickly in every campaign, so... Okie dokie, right. They're trash. They're trash. They're trash. They're not quite trash. Those might take a bit of effort to take, but they're absolutely amazing for their cost. They're excellent for their cost. They're pointless. I think I can take this. Let's find out. What does the game say? That's what we like to see. On circle for 1 round. We'll see how that goes. It might not be great, but we'll see how it goes. Actually. No, let's go exploring over here. Who knows what you might find. Yeah, that place leveled up quickly. Oh. Money is meant to be invested. Corn corruption is increasing there. Good, good, good. Let's see here. So, I don't think those orcs are going to come and pick a fight with us. There we go. Right, so is it still as Pyrrhicid before? Relatively speaking. Do I want to fight this myself? No. I'll take my losses, and then... Skulls to the Skull Throne, or... spawning an army and running away is probably the way to do it here. Right, yes. So, now I'm probably going to need to go and pop home to do some recruitment, because I need to replace those units I lost, but that has dealt with the issues we were facing in that region, which is very important. This army... You know what? If this army succeeds, amazing. If it doesn't, all I've done is weaken the enemy. So that's a win-win for me. So I'll set up the siege. I'll make it so that if they're going to sally out at me, they can sally out at me, because then we'll deal more casualties to them that way. And then I need to get over to here so that I can... What's the cooldown on making an army attack me? Wow, those cooldowns are relatively spicy for those effects. Oops. Ah, but I got loads of levels out of that. Good, good. One corruption, yes. Good. Unholy resilience, good, yes. And bonus skulls. Wow, that goes from 3% to 15%. That's spicy progression. But no. we are going to go for... You better in a fight now. And you... Yeah, we're just gonna keep going down the tree to make you a combat monster, because we want combat monsters. We're all about that. That's what Khorne is here for. We are not farmers, we are warriors. Interesting. I don't want to colonize that. No. Any enemies over here? No? Okay. So let's find out. Like I say, the goal here is just, let's say, I'm not expecting that army to be able to take out those orcs. And my main army really isn't in a position to support them, so as long as they just take a reasonable number of casualties fighting me, then that'll be good enough in terms of getting things done here. Let's find out. I mean, to be fair, if they choose not to fight us, that's even more in our favour, because that army can then just wait a couple of turns and siege them down. But I think we'd be very lucky to get that outcome here. I could be wrong, but I think it's highly unlikely. But that was not a result I was anticipating. Yoink. Perfect. Amazing. Just what we wanted. I'll have the money, please. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. And the next turn, we'll go and burn it to the ground. Oof. Just what we like to see. Let's look at the skulls for burning it to the ground. Oh, that's a defeat. Oh, how terrible. Well, that's fine. One does not care for from whom the blood flows, only that it does. And we'll get there, because I guess it's back in friendly territory, so our armies can get even better replenishment. We've got a bit more money, and it's a bit cheaper to recruit at home, so we'll replace those units. My bloodlust is decreasing there, which isn't great. Need to find some enemies. Well, the army's not going to do anything, might as well attack. 15 skulls. Oh, and a new enemy, so they can send armies towards us. Good, good, good. Right, I think we'll activate that. Great question. Why is that one replenishing so much faster than the others? Oh, is it just they had more people? Very strange. So, yeah, we'll spend about 2 turns recruiting. And then I think we'll pick a fight. Well, we'll probably should finish these folks off over here. But wiping out those beastmen was important. Also, I'm just looking at the... Oh, declaring war, hopefully? Oh, they want a gift? No. They demanded a bribe. I rejected their bribe. Scarbrand hates being shakedown for money. So Scarbrand in the lore effectively was incredibly angry. He was sort of like Khorne, the god of battle's like favorite chosen bloodthirster. But he was just that angry that one day he was like, you know what? I am going to take a swing at the boss. Took a mighty swing at Khorne, chipped his armor a little bit, and then Khorne was like, ha 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 ha, hilarious. And then everything in Scarbrand's life has been downhill from there. He got consumed by endless eternal rage and is now desperately trying to... Well, to be fair, he's probably quite happy as he is. Bloodthirsters, as long as they're fighting, they don't really need for much. Right, so let's get you to march stance so we can get maximum movement out of you. And we are going to aim to get over here. Why is everything so far away in the Badland? If I was in the Empire, I'd just be able to just like go from settlement to settlement to settlement to settlement. But no. We have to fight in this super spread out. Like, I just want to ping pong between settlements and just be able to take people out. But no, everyone's like 2 or 3 days away from each other. These massive provinces are just not very dense. I could be mistaken, but looking at the left-hand side of my screen there, that looks remarkably like a large river of blood. Corn. He's telling us it's his home. This is our new home, and we will build here, and it will be glorious and beautiful. Yeah, I think I'll make my objectives for the other gamers. We'll get those orcs dealt with. And then once they're gone... Oh, hello, is that a... And those will be some... Vampires are great to fight against. Loads and loads of skulls. Let us fight people we've fought before, it's great, we can recycle. Fortnite is all about being environmentally friendly. Wow, these people start with a lot of territory. That's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Yeah, so we can take that settlement next turn. Our army's starting to lose. Yeah, it's starting to lose momentum, but that's just because everything is so far apart in this region. Right, we'll do that so we can make some more enemies. And I think next turn we'll trigger this as we go into battle. Oh, and there you go. So as you can see, that settlement just colonized itself without me having to do anything. So normally, also focus are still powerful. Let's see, Slanesh is currently winning. Oh, we have allies here. That's new. 100 skulls for each time a battle is fought in this province. 25 skulls a turn. When any lord is present, 40 skulls a turn, and instantly teleports your faction leader to the settlement, cults destroyed upon building. Okay, so I can just teleport across the map. Okay, well, let's go for just 3 skull income for now. So you can also develop cults across the map. I didn't have much experience. So when I did my first playthrough of this faction, playthrough a campaign with them, I never experienced the cults really doing much. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out. It does also mean that I can now talk to ornate factions, which I'm actually not sure if I can confederate them. Doesn't really seem like a very ornate thing to do, but then the orcs can confederate, although in lore, the orc method of confederation is orc war boss walks over, orc war boss punches your boss. You now work for the big boss. Congratulations. I don't quite think we fit the same mold. Okay, let's go back home. Go. Map. Okay, my boy. Let's press the button. Skulls for the skull throne indeed, and let's have this. Because we can take this, and then... yes. Let's say skulls. Skulls for me, skulls for you. That moves me over there, which gets me started over here. Just quickly put some more units in my armies. Oh, I can put a 3rd unit, why not? I've got the money for it right now. More blood letters. That's going fine, that's going fine. Oh yeah, this leveled up, didn't it? Not really fussed about a garrison. Any of these spreading corruption? Any of these spreading adjacent corruption? Well, might as well at least start pushing it. Yeah, so we'll take Stormhenge, and then we should be able to get to that last settlement. Yes, Scarbrand, my angry boy. We will go on a rampage. We'll burn the world down for you, I swear. You already see our terrain is getting nice and corrupted to corn already. Rivers of blood, fires burning everywhere, the winds of magic being very much against wizards. Beautiful sight, beautiful sight. I wonder if these guys are going to ask me for another peace treaty. That'd be funny. Right. Yes, all my notifications. Good, good. The man is I can actually control it. Right. So we'll take this settlement here. This time I think we'll go for the replenishment. Good. Right, let's see how close we can get. I want to get there in 1 turn, ideally. I think that might be a little bit of a push. Oh, that army spawned with some useful units in it. Excellent, excellent. Good old-fashioned bloodthirsters are our end game goal, really. Which of these are going to give us the best bonus? Melee defense, melee attack, weapon strength and physical resistance, or just leadership and weapon strength? I think we want to go for melee attack. Tear through people like a angry blender. And in this case, we've already got melee defense, so in this case, yes, melee attack for you as well. Again, Operation Blendo is go. Corruption in that region. We're losing a bit of money now, but honestly, we can make that up quite quickly. Once we've taken that settlement, then I think we can move north. And oh, hello! I think those dwarves have started colonizing that settlement to our south, so we may soon be able to declare war on the dwarves as well. Everything's coming up Scarbrand. Yes, all we wish is more war, more bloodshed, more violence. Kill, maim, burn. Kill, maim, burn. Another peace treaty, you say? No, thank you, sir. Unfortunately, the other thing I really want from you at this point is your death, so... Yeah. It's unfortunate, buddy, I know, but just sometimes you can't win at all. Alright, we'll send those boys up. What's this for? Raid the region. Unlikely. Although, there's no harm in sending... How many settlements does this faction start with? Yes, that's what we want to see. So these dwarves, so these were 2 ruined settlements, and these dwarves have now moved in to claim both of them, which is actually really good. Because now I can go punch some dwarves eventually. These settlements are building rapidly. Good. Corn corruption going up. Vampiric corruption also going up. But mine's going a bit slower than theirs. That's not so great. How are we doing otherwise, though? Wow, corn corruption is really useful for us. Just making all of our armies just a bit better when fighting with it. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yes, that'll auto colonize eventually. That will take a bit longer though, so we'll have to make sure we can. I think Galbaraz is the capital, so we'll take Galbaraz. This army should have no issue taking it. Okay. Running our economy on a knife edge. But when I said no issues, I meant we won't need mountains of money initially. It's a... You need enough, and that's it initially. And once you've got, as I said, that snowball rolling, it's fine. And the upgrades they give you, unless they were going to be absolutely monstrously huge upgrades, they wouldn't have the effect you need. But I think I will still use this army to support us while we're taking Galbaraz, cause I want to make sure I take as few casualties as possible so that I can push on to the next fight. So, go here. Have our Pyrrhic victory. We'll claim our skulls. Is that going to be more than 1 turn's movement? No. Good. Move over there. Tell the boy to move over there. Try and make sure. Oh, that's not in the region, is it? That's a different settlement. So who owns this one? Oh no, it is. Oh, okay, yes it is. So we'll actually claim that settlement. Upgrades for Scarbrand. Melee defense. Thank you a little tankier. Bow Seeker, yes. What we got here? Weapon strength, charge bonus, melee attack, speed, or hit points. Or melee attack, please. And raise you there. Golden corruption is doing alright in this region. So all armies in adjacent regions. Money is great for us. Ooh, the corruption is spreading as it should. Yeah, so we'll capture this settlement here. And then we'll swing back across, and I think the first one we're going to fight is these ones. We'll see. I don't want to spend any more time fighting in the blasted swamp. The swamp is not where we want to be fighting. Everything's so spread out, it takes ages to get anywhere. We want just battles and wars and all these wonderful people I can keep fighting. But to be fair, I can just keep moving these armies north because, like, holding territory is nice. Like, yes, I would like to personally hold on to the ground I've captured, but actually not that much of an issue for me. Like, as long as I've got armies that are good to go, none of the infrastructure, like, I need some infrastructure somewhere on the map. I don't need mountains of it. That said, let's deal with these.
We have brokered an alliance with your brothers. They lie in wait as the enemy approaches.
I could go.
All it requires is your.
That's my quest battle being told about. Right, let's see what we got here. Skull Throne cost minus 10%. That's pretty good. Income from everything 10%. Income from psychic settlement 25%. That's pretty good. Bonus fee large for okay, my dog's a bit better maybe. And less attrition. I think for now the first one to rush is Spoils of Battle because money for additional money for doing the thing we're going to do to everyone's settlements is that's no reason not to do it. Right. So you're going to go to that settlement. You're going to quickly clear through it. Yes, 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 yes. Good, good, good. We're going to sack it. And then you're going to go back in. And we're going to occupy it. Am I paying for this army? I think I am, aren't I? So I can't fight them just yet. Let's move my army over here and see what happens. See what I can find. Like, I mean, Wurzag would probably be a pretty good fight, actually. Let's. Have we got the money to reinforce them? Yeah, I think we do. I'll put 8 unit in there at least. Yeah, this is starting to look right. Oh, they colonized the settlement with all the corn corruption. How could they? Those monsters. That will actually be inconvenient if they get going there. Okay, we're going to have to be creative then, aren't we? So yeah, we'll push through here and we'll get ready to have a fight with Wurzag. There's buildings. Yes, yes, yes. We'll repair those up. Okay. Let's see where that army that's in front of Scarbrand goes. Fingers crossed they run away. That would be the ideal. But we shall see. Da-da. Okay, moving deeper into my territory with a bigger army. Can I get to them in one turn? If I can get to that army there in one turn, then I can take them out, and then, yeah, I can hit me in my other territory, but I'm not really fussed about that. Okay, that's not super terrible. And I can currently take that fight with my army as it is. Guessing that they can't take that fight though. They're going to start taking attrition relatively soon. So, maybe view it that way. Actually, no, we don't want this army anymore. We've had enough of you. because we need to take it a little bit slow and careful here. Yes, so we'll move Scarbrand around here. Ready to fight Wurzai, because I know I can beat Wurzai, especially if I get another turn of healing. They look like they want to declare war on me, which will be probably in my interest. So I'll get ready to take that place. See what plays out here. My assumption is that Wurzai is going to be aiming for Galbaraz. Which if he does, we'll attack in the same turn he takes it, because we can take that army, I think. Yep, that's all fine. Again, I'm not super worried about holding territory. All I care about really is just holding some territory. And okay, Wurzai, that's how we're doing this? That's absolutely great for me. Okay, yeah, I've got to be able to take that fight, surely. Don't call me Shirley. This will either be a great decision or a terrible decision. Let's find out. Well. Is it smarter to run away here? They don't... I mean, there's quite a lot of orc archers, which makes this quite painful. No, I have a plan. It's not a great plan, but I have a plan. Go here. Declare war. We're going to spawn an army. And we're going to move Scarbrand. Can I get there relatively cleanly? I'll move Scarbrand into reinforcement range of said army. That should be enough for us to push the armies. Now, the other funny thing is... they're now homeless. They'll start losing attrition. So this... how's Scarbrand looking? Okay, it's not going to decay just yet. That's good. That's good. Okay. Right. Might work. This might work. So if Wurzai attacks us here, I don't think they can get their other army all the way to us, so that should prevent them from attacking us. It says, hopefully. Okay, yeah, he's using the underway to go for our territory. That's all good. So we now need to turn around and deal with all the other stuff around here. But plenty of armies to go and punch, which is exactly what we need. We'll use our reinforcement army here. So first of all, we'll punch this settlement here. Because why wouldn't we? It's one. Skulls, skulls, skulls. Yes, 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 yes. And then we'll send Scarbrand down south over here. Again, with his reinforcement bros. You can have that floating village, that's fine. I'm not really fussed about that settlement. We risk to upgrade that right in a second, so we won't. Get a little bit more punchy power on the boy. That's all coming together as it should. One battle victory required for this level. So, no, we'll save that for when we're going to decay, and we don't want to decay. Now, we'll definitely need to hold off on that one for now. Yeah, so we'll push through these dwarves here. And then... we're probably going to lose the floating village to Wurzai, but that's kind of okay, because if he takes these settlements again, we can just pinball between all of them and just take them like that. It all comes together, I think. Just have to make sure that I don't lose my main army in a terrible decision. Because then this campaign is going to be... all my momentum will just grind to a screaming halt, and we'll have to rapidly reevaluate my ways of... my methods. Yeah, good. The dwarves recognise that was going to be a bad day for them. Move you up there. Have this place. Well, actually, I'm actually going to burn it down, but you don't need to know that. Wow, the rewards for... Sorry, the rewards for burning it down don't actually get decreased by people just trying to reclaim it. That's really good to know. That army can just go there. Skulls for the Skullboy. Increase my ability just a little bit more. Again, don't want to invest here just yet. Da-da-da. Let's see where Thoric goes. I don't know if I don't know now, Thoric, but I do know that I've got a lot of angry demons coming to cause you a problem, mate. So yes, we will be going to go chase down Thoric. He'll probably start running away and we'll probably never catch him. That was anticipated. That's fine. Yep, that's fine. So now, the question is, do I turn around to try and... I think the answer is I turn around and defend my home settlement from Wurzag. Fortunately, I've still got my manifestation, so I can summon an army to attack me, which is going to be very useful, I think. Send you over there. You, however, go over there. Does someone have much in the way of a garrison? But I can get there in one turn. They cannot get there in one turn. Right, that's what we need to see. Good, we can spend some plus skulls, so... Situation. Look, if we're fighting in a swamp, I would like to reduce the attrition penalty. Right, can I fight you straight up? Yep, I can fight you straight up, I can fight you straight up, and... Looks like you'll be a bit of a problem, but... Going to... Fingers crossed. Excuse me 1 second. My voice is... Oh god, my voice is very, very crunchy today. I'm not sure what's causing that. Apologies for that. Just a big old coughing fit off comms. So hopefully they'll take Galbaraz and I can attack them. And then more enemies sending more armies to us. So the more armies that are coming into our territory, the more people that we can fight. Look at all these lovely ruined settlements. They're free. They're yours to claim. All you need to do is just send an army and take them. Don't worry about Scarbrand. He's just a friendly roaming environmentalist who wants to keep the earth scoured clean of all these possible inconveniences. Yeah, there we go. So Wurzag is coming for me. So Scarbrand can fight him, and I'll use that army to... So let's see if they take that settlement. Here's hoping. Come on, you're Bretonian. You don't make great decisions. Yeah, that's what we like to see. Some more skulls for us then. I may not be at war with them, but I will be soon. And ours. Yep, more skulls for the skull throne, please. And for you... We're going to go on a little bit of a walk to their home territory. Alright, so I want to hold this settlement, so Scarbrand will move up. Let's see how this goes. I want to make sure that I keep my... I need to have them outside the settlement for this to work. Come attack me. Need to keep me blood rage up. And earn a bit of cash as well. Good. Yes. Oh, wait, actually, can I get your special tree now? Oh, I can. Incarnate. Affects enemies in range. I mean, it's not a direct buff, but then it does unlock all of this stuff. However, I think for now, that might be useful for me. And Regiment of Renown, free unit recruitment. Well, not free unit recruitment, but rapid unit recruitment. Yeah, I couldn't start a fight with them. No, we will not ambush them. Sorry, I was just internally debating whether or not I could ambush them. I was like, no. We are Khorne. We will fight them honorably, the way it was intended. We will face them down and we will fight them properly. Let me guess, Queek to carry non-aggression pact. You know what, Queek? Honestly, right now, probably not going to be the issue you think it's going to be, buddy. Alright, let's see. Are they going to come for me? Are they going to come for me? Oh, no. Oh, they've laid siege to me? Have they laid siege? Yes, they have, which means they don't think they can take me in one turn. Okay, this might work. This might be good for us. Fingers crossed. Because if we can break their army here, that's massively in our favour. Melee defense or enemy leadership reduction. I think for what we've got coming, enemy leadership reduction is going to be great. Right. Let's do this thing. Yeah, we do. Honestly, I am actually... am I okay with that outcome? Honestly, yeah, because their army's going to get wiped. Like, I'll need to, like, replenish replenish quite a bit, but you know what? That's okay. Yes. Oh, 10,000 skills. Nice. Thank you for the achievements, team. Right. Let's start replacing all the things we just lost. Big battle as well. So yeah, so now we go for that. Let's see here. Control or Khorne corruption in my local province is always good. Income from battle. Wrathful Reaper. Oh, battle augment. And campaign. Right. Okay, so money. Definitely money. And we'll upgrade you. Closer to the ideal. Not going to upgrade you just yet. You're... Yeah, so we're going to send you to try and do some damage over here, which should not be an issue. And now I just need to make sure I can replenish my army before these guys get to me. So... But this should all work out now. The fights are coming to us. I might also encourage the dwarves to come in, and as long as I can replenish fast enough and keep recruiting units, this should be... We'll say we're just going to keep churning them out, putting skulls to the battle, and fingers crossed we'll... Yeah, because now, the dwarves have turned around now because they think they've got a chance here. Which works in our favour. So... That's all good. Yes, this is okay. Right. More blood letters. I need to get some money first. Let's go to the bank. I don't think I raided that place anytime soon. Let's find out. Nope. Good, good. Yes, there's 7,000 gold for me. And I'll send you that away. We'll try and sack that settlement next. I mean, I imagine they'll probably be able to stop me, but it means they have to turn around and deal with it, which is entirely in my favour. And that means now, more for me, and I think it's safe to make this investment now. Let's see here. Yep, that's worth it. Well, corruption's not doing much in the region, but that's okay. That's just a regular army. Once I've got those units in there, looking pretty good. But then we want to go for the floating village next. The question is, though, are they going to send that army out to fight me? I'd assume they will. And I can't run away, but goal isn't to... goal is to earn money off their settlements. Yeah, there we go. Huh. Wipe out a couple of their forces, get some more skulls. Perfectly reasonable. Just what we want to see. Are those dwarves still getting closer to us? We got a lot of enemies around us now, but I don't think any, as long as we can keep fighting battles that we like, it all works out for us. So, let's see here. Where's the best place to go? Is that... Okay, so if I go... Yeah, that's still in my territory. I can then... get my army back to about a strength I'd like, and then take that settlement there. It's not worth anything, but it's a starting point. Their other army is going to be somewhere nearby. Let's see here. Do I want to turn on another Skulls for the Skull Throne moment? No, I think I want to do that one because these settlements are all relatively close together, so I want to go and bounce between those. That's when I'll use my next Skulls one. So for now, we'll get what we can out of this floating village, and then we'll turn back around and see what's... Yeah, because they're going to constantly just be running after us using the underway, which isn't great for them. And if we get rid of this, then they've just got empty territories. They haven't really got anywhere they can replenish. So we'll go burn that down. Skulls, please. That's fine by me. Yep, it's all good. And I'll turn around, my boy. Oh, let's go. Add away. And that's great. Haven't leveled up. Okay, we have... which one of these do we want that's really important? Income from all buildings. Yes, that's probably helpful, isn't it? Increasing our... reducing the cost of the Skull Throne and increasing the uses of our summon from our Beyond ability, which I believe is what that gives us. Which is a unit of Bloodletters, which we can just summon at will, which is even more units to throw into the battlefield. That should be a pretty good army to take out, because if it's Bretonnia and it's early game, that does say 18 units, but I'm very confident that that's mostly going to be peasants. Which is our ideal and preferred enemy. Now, what are they going to do there? It's a great question. I think we'll leave that for there for this time. So, we're certainly starting to get going. Like, that fight against... I remember Dancy Boy, Wurzag, the Great Green Prophet. Wiping out his armies really, really helped us. Like, we took some losses doing it, but He's gone now, along with his high tier unit, so he's only going to be recruiting lower tier stuff. We need to deal with that one other army they've got there. Blubdub Tooth. Let's get the name right. Bloodub Tooth Taker, and then we can deal with all these other people around us, and eventually we can get a nice bit of earning off burning all of those down and pushing all the way over to here. So lots of good directions to go in. So fingers crossed the rest of the week will be exciting. So thank you everyone for showing up today. I've had a lot of fun getting started again. And fingers crossed I can keep riding the very narrowest of margins on this one. Till next time.